What's up, Solo Cups? My name is John Solo, and today we are talking about The Incredibles, because honestly, I just can't help myself. The movies are too good. If you're wondering why my background is different than usual, you should definitely check out my latest update video where I explain all the cool changes coming to the channel over the next few months. But the short answer is because I'm in the middle of a big move right now, so chances are you're gonna see a few different backgrounds over the next month or two. So a few days ago, I found this image on my Twitter timeline. As you can see, it's an awesome rendition of what Frozone's family with his wife Honey could look like if he had one. Now my first thought when I saw this picture was, oh, apparently Frozone's kids are the starter Pokemon. But my second thought was, wait, why doesn't Frozone have a family? He obviously has a wife.
Where is my super suit?
Put it away!
And he's really good with the Parr kids.
Whoa!
So why hasn't the stork visited him and Honey yet? Well, if we're using Occam's razor, the most obvious answer would be they just don't want them, and who could blame them? Jack is adorable, but obviously babies with superpowers are a lot to handle. Not only because they can't control their powers, but you don't even know what powers they're gonna have. Then as they get older, you need to teach them how to be responsible with their powers and careful with who they reveal their abilities to. It's hard enough to raise a normal kid without them turning into some kind of monster. Imagine what it's like when you're a bad parent to a kid who can light someone on fire by snapping his fingers. But them simply not wanting kids is kind of a boring answer, so let's have some fun and say that's not it. What else could be stopping Lucius and Honey Best from having some superpowered kiddos? It turns out the answer might be in a very early storyboard that was cut from The Incredibles 1. Remember how at the end of the movie the Parr family returns to their house to find Syndrome holding Jack? Well, initially there was a similar scene planned for the beginning of the film, where Syndrome breaks into Bob and Helen's house, tosses them around with his 0-point energy, and eventually learns the two have a kid.
And had a kid? It's a whole family of supers! You are breaking the law, Mr. Incredible. You know supers aren't supposed to breed.
What he says after learning this is what caught my attention, that it's illegal for superheroes to breed. Now this scene doesn't actually work in the final context of the film. The baby that Syndrome overhears babbling is Violet, meaning this takes place only a year after superheroes became illegal, meaning Syndrome initially had a different backstory as well.
And the best part is, they don't even know I've escaped yet.
You'll be back inside before they do.
But just because those fundamental aspects of the story were altered, the timeline, the character backstories, even the main antagonist, doesn't mean the rest of them were. All those smaller details that add realism and legitimacy to the universe, like superheroes not being allowed to breed because of all the potential complications that could arise, could still be there. And it could be the reason why Lucius and Honey don't have kids. We don't know much about their relationship or even what Frozone does when he isn't fighting crime, but we do know that Bob is the more rebellious of him and Lucius and isn't gonna take no for an answer if he feels what he's doing is right. We know he's super attached to his glory days of fighting crime, and you might even argue that one of the reasons he was willing to break the law and have kids was because he felt the Earth would someday need protecting again. And look, he ended up being right. Frozone could have easily felt that having kids simply wasn't worth risking potential lawsuits, relocation, basically his sanity, just like he felt with the fire that him and Bob rescued people from.
I wanted to go bowling!
The interesting thing about all this is if I'm right, it easily flows into the Incredibles 2 story. It seems that saving the world another time or two is what Frozone needed to get excited about those glory days once again, because it doesn't take much convincing from the Devers to get him to join their cause and become a superhero again. By the end of that film, when legislation surrounding supers is finally changed, who knows what got changed with it? For example, the laws about supers not being allowed to have children. If Frozone is finally allowed to live the life he wants and have kids with his wife, this piece by Crystal Hill could become a reality and we could get a Frozone spin-off movie. I mean, probably not. It took 14 years for Incredibles 2 to get made and it was just released, so I'm pretty sure a sequel is the last thing on Brad Bird's mind. But it's a cool idea and one I would definitely pay to see. I just realized this is the second video I've made where I ended it by pushing for a Samuel L. Jackson spin-off movie, and I'm proud of that. What do you guys think? Are there any other reasons why Frozone and Honey might not have kids? Would you watch a movie about them if they made one? Let me know your thoughts in a comment down below, and by smashing that like button so we can reach our goal of 3,000 likes. As always, make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on, and follow me on social media for regular updates on Disney news and what I'm working on next. Thanks for watching, Solo fam. Until next time, my name is John Solo, and remember, John shot first.